All right, we will reconvene the meeting. It is 9:58. So our first two submitters, Rangatahi Voices and Paul Bowden, have not arrived. However, our third submitter, Jackson Fankhauser, has. So thank you for joining us today, Jackson. Counselors, this Jackson's submission is on page 394 and 473 of your agenda packs. So Jackson, how this goes, you have 5 minutes, so you'll see the time on the screen. At 4 minutes, we'll ring a bell just to let you know that you've got 1 minute left. Now, if you would like to allow counselors to ask questions or points of clarification, then you need to allow for that within the 5 minutes. All right? Great. Good stuff. Over to you, Jackson.
Cool, awesome, no worries. So I'm here submitting on 3 different subjects: the PT rates, the Regional Development Fund, and the Tahuia and the continuation of the funding there. So I'll just go through in that order. Regarding the PT rates, I actually I've done research into how the other big councils around New Zealand fund their public transport. Unfortunately, it's a bit that we're lacking from central government, but essentially with the option that you guys have chosen, I'm in support of that because it sort of helps get PT where it needs to be. Instead of receiving just funding and trying to figure out where it is, we can work on demand basis as well as like where developments are occurring. So the Regional Development Fund, I am in favour of it continuing, purely because I think that it enables some of our districts to be able to tap into things that they can't get a hold of. Again, there's a lack of funding from the government to help sort that out, and so I think it's really cool that the regional council has sort of stepped up and sort of taken on a role to be able to help, especially like Waikato District Council, which proportionally has the largest area but the smallest population per capita. And so it's good that there's something there to help them out to fulfill those needs that they need. And then the Tahuia. So this has been a big subject in the news recently. I've read a number of articles, and also the national government's sort of signalling not to continue funding for this. I personally think that the Tahuia needs to be continued past the 2026 end date, as the travel is mainly affected due to a single trunk line that has been underinvested in. We just don't have the current infrastructure, which is the government's job to help deliver. Your role here is to help deliver a service which is being used on the regular, and it was being used daily. And currently, the only thing that really holds it back is, number one, it's a trial run that was never meant to succeed, because both Auckland Transport and Waka Kotahi fought it in actually establishing it, even though there is evidence all around the world that connecting to your smaller cities that are very close by via rail is very economically beneficial, and especially considering that there is a big amount of the population from Hamilton that work in Auckland. And there's actually, I've sort of noticed in looking at the return trips in the morning that there is a shift happening where there's a lot of people that are living in Auckland that are working in Hamilton, or they're catching it for business purposes. And so there's a demand there. It's just going to continue to grow. One of the things that has really affected the use is COVID-19. It's like it started off and then COVID-19 hit. It was completely shut down, didn't operate for the better half of, I think it was a year and a half. Is that, yeah. Um, you know, and there's evidence in the articles that suggests that we are still returning to, like we're still trying to return to how we traveled before COVID. And so people aren't using the train, they're not using the bus as much as what they would, simply because of the communal space and the, I guess what's the word? You know, they're scared of getting sick still. And so, yeah, that is a real motivator in people choosing not to travel on the train. Are there any questions or?
Councillor Clarkson.
I just wanted to thank you for your presentation because you've just exemplified the sort of process that should occur. You've done the background reading, you've done some real careful thinking, and you've provided some evidence for what you're trying to support. And actually, in the previous 2 days, there are some people who are way older than you that didn't. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? No?
Awesome. No worries. Thank you for
Thank you very much for the time you took putting in a submission on our LTP. Thank you for the time you've taken to come and speak to council today. Really appreciate your engagement with our process. You know, if we have willing engagements, then we make better decisions. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
Cheers. Thank you.
Kia ora. Yeah. Thank you, Jackson. Do we have our next presenter? Not as yet. All right, councilors, we will adjourn the meeting. Again, we don't have our next presenters. I'll call the meeting back to order once somebody is here to present. So we'll adjourn the meeting 10:05.